Jinwoo Park stood in the large meeting room of the space station. Around him sat aliens from many different worlds. Some looked like giant bugs. Others had skin that shined like crystal. A few had too many arms and eyes that glowed in the dark. For 3 years, Jinwoo had come to these meetings. The aliens called them integration talks. They said every new species had to go through this process to join the galactic community. But Jinwoo knew better now. These were not friendly welcome meetings. They were tests. The aliens wanted to learn everything about humans. They asked about human weapons. They wanted to know how many people lived on Earth. They asked to visit human military bases. When humans said no, the aliens got angry. Minji Choi sat in the back of the room. She wore her military uniform with pride. She had been watching these aliens for months. Every day they became more demanding. Every day they showed less respect for humans. Today was different. Today the tall alien with crystal skin was speaking. His name was too hard for humans to say, so they called him the Chancellor. He stood up and his body glowed brighter. Humans show too much emotion, the Chancellor said. His voice sounded like breaking glass. They fight too much. They are not ready to join civilized species. Other aliens nodded. The giant bug creature clicked its mandibles in agreement. The one with 4 arms waved them all at once. We need more time to study humans, the Chancellor continued. We need to watch them closely. Maybe we need to change how they behave. Jinwoo felt anger building in his chest. For 3 years he had listened to this. The aliens acted like they were better than humans. They talked about humans like they were dangerous animals that needed training. Taeho Kim sat next to Minji in the back. He was in charge of gathering information about the aliens. His face was calm, but his eyes were hard. He had learned many things about these aliens during the talks. Most of what he learned was not good. That morning, Taeho had given Jinwoo bad news. Human ships had gone missing at the edge of space. The aliens said they were just checking the ships. But the ships never came back. The people on those ships were now prisoners. The Chancellor kept talking. Humans are too aggressive. They make wars on their own planet. How can we trust them in space? We think they need supervisors. Other species should watch them and guide them. The room was full of alien voices agreeing. They spoke in many languages, but the meaning was clear. They wanted to control humans. They wanted to treat humans like children who could not take care of themselves. Jinwoo looked around the room. He saw the faces of creatures who thought humans were inferior. They had made up their minds before the talks even started. Nothing humans did would change their opinion. Yuna Lee sat at the science table. She was the smartest human in the room, maybe the smartest human in space. She had spent 3 years sharing human knowledge with the aliens. She had shown them human technology and discoveries. She had hoped it would prove that humans deserved respect, but the aliens took human knowledge and gave nothing back. They copied human designs and called them their own. They used human discoveries to make their own lives better, while still calling humans primitive. Yuna caught Jinwoo's eye. She nodded slightly. She was ready. The Chancellor was still talking. We have decided that humans need a longer observation period. Maybe 50 years, maybe 100. We will send observers to all human worlds. They will make sure humans behave properly. The room erupted in approval. Aliens made their happy sounds. The bug creatures clicked loudly. The crystal beings glowed brighter. The many armed ones clapped all their hands at once. Jinwoo stood up slowly. The room began to quiet down. All the alien eyes turned to look at him. Honored delegates, Jinwoo said. His voice was calm and clear. It carried across the large room without effort. I want to thank you for your guidance during these 3 years. Some aliens looked confused. They expected humans to beg. They expected humans to promise to be good. However, Jinwoo continued, we have learned that our ways of thinking are too different. We cannot agree on basic things. The Chancellor's crystal face showed surprise. What are you saying, human? I am saying that humanity officially withdraws from all talks with the Galactic Council. We no longer wish to join your community. We will leave this station within 1 hour. The room went completely silent. No species had ever withdrawn from integration talks. It was unthinkable. Every species wanted to join the galactic community. The benefits were too great to refuse, but Jinwoo was not finished. We also withdraw all human personnel from council space. All human businesses will close. All human services will end. All human cooperation will stop. The Chancellor stood up quickly. His body flashed bright red with anger. You cannot do this. You need us. You are just one small species from one small world. Jinwoo smiled. It was not a nice smile. We are grateful for the lesson, Chancellor. You have taught us exactly what kind of neighbors you would be. We choose to find different neighbors. Minji stood up in the back. Taeho stood with her. Yuna gathered her papers and closed her computers. Other humans throughout the room began to move. This is foolish. The bug creature buzzed loudly. You will regret this decision. You cannot survive alone in space. Jinwoo walked toward the door. The other humans followed him. We survived alone for thousands of years before we met you. I think we will manage. As the humans left the room, the aliens began talking loudly among themselves. Some seemed angry. Others seemed worried. A few looked frightened, though they did not know why yet. Outside in the hallway, Yuna walked beside Jinwoo. Do you think they suspect? She asked quietly. Jinwoo shook his head. They think we are primitive and weak. They cannot imagine that we might be more than we appear to be. Minji caught up to them. All human ships are ready to leave. Everyone knows the plan. Good, Jinwoo said. Let's go home. We have work to do. Behind them, the aliens were still arguing in the meeting room. They had no idea that everything was about to change. They had no idea that the humans had been planning for this moment since the day they first arrived. The stars were about to learn what humanity was really capable of. 3 months had passed since the humans left the council station. At first, the aliens celebrated. The Chancellor made speeches about how the galaxy was safer without humans. The bug creatures threw parties. The many armed ones danced with joy. But now things were different. Minho Seo stood on the bridge of his ship, watching robots take apart the huge trading station above Nexus Prime. The station had been built by humans and aliens working together. Now only the human parts were being removed. Piece by piece, the robots loaded human technology onto transport ships, computers, engines, life support systems, communication devices. Everything humans had contributed was being carefully packed away. When they were done, there would be nothing left to show that humans had ever been there. Minho had received his orders weeks ago. Every human in the galaxy was to come home. Every human business was to close. Every human base was to be abandoned. Nothing was to be left behind that aliens could use or study. At first, the aliens did not notice. There were millions of trading posts and stations in the galaxy. A few closing here and there seemed normal. Business always went up and down. But Sojin Kwan noticed something else. She worked for Human Intelligence Services, pretending to be a simple trader while actually spying on alien governments. She heard conversations that worried alien leaders. In the Crystal Empire, supply ships were arriving late. The crystals needed special materials from human mines. Without those materials, their technology started breaking down. In the bug territories, food shipments had stopped coming. Humans had been growing special crops that the bugs needed to stay healthy. Now the bugs were getting sick and no one knew why. On Nexus Prime, the central computer system was having problems. Humans had built and maintained the system for years. Without human technicians, small errors were becoming big failures. Hana Jiang worked at a secret listening post far from any alien world. Her job was to monitor alien communications. Every day she heard more worried voices. The hyperspace beacon in Sector 7 is not working, said one alien commander. Our defense system will not accept our passwords, reported another. The emergency response team was all human. Who do we call now? Asked a station manager. Hana wrote down everything she heard. The pattern was becoming clear. Humans had not just been traders and diplomats. They had been the people who fixed things when they broke. They had been the ones who kept systems running smoothly. They had been the problem solvers that everyone called when nothing else worked. Now they were gone. The Chancellor stood in his private office, looking at reports from across the Crystal Empire. His advisors had worried looks on their crystalline faces. Sir, we have problems, said his chief aide. The mining operation on Crystal Moon 3 has stopped. The human engineers were the only ones who knew how to run the deep extractors. Get crystal engineers, the Chancellor said. We tried, sir. Crystal engineers built the shallow extractors. The deep extractors use human technology. We do not understand how they work. The Chancellor's light dimmed. This was not supposed to happen. Humans were supposed to be primitive. How could they build machines that crystals could not understand? In the bug territories, the Queen Mother was having similar problems. Her greatest hive cities were built deep underground using human tunneling technology. Now the air systems were failing and no bug knew how to fix them. Send warriors to force the humans to return, the Queen Mother buzzed angrily. Her general clicked his mandibles nervously. We tried, Your Majesty. We sent fleets to find human worlds. They are not where they are supposed to be. What do you mean? The star maps show where human worlds should be. But when our ships go there, they find empty space. No planets, no stars, nothing. This was impossible. Planets and stars could not just disappear. But somehow the humans had managed to hide their entire civilization. The many-armed aliens of the hegemony were having the worst problems of all. Their entire communication network had been built using human relay stations. Without those stations, different parts of their empire could not talk to each other. Messages that used to take minutes now took weeks. Trade agreements fell apart. Military commanders could not coordinate their fleets. The empire was coming apart. Their supreme leader called an emergency meeting. How did we become so dependent on humans? He demanded, waving all four arms angrily. His advisors looked at each other nervously. Sir, it happened slowly. Humans were very helpful. They volunteered to maintain our systems. They offered to improve our technology. They said it was their way of showing friendship. And now we realize that they made themselves necessary. We cannot run our empire without their help. Meanwhile, Seokjin Lee was piloting a stealth ship through alien space. His mission was to watch alien fleets and report their movements back to human command. What he saw made him smile. Alien ships were running around in panic. They were checking every system, every planet, every empty patch of space looking for humans. They were using enormous amounts of fuel and resources in their search, but they would never find what they were looking for. Earth and all human colonies had been moved to a different kind of space, a folded dimension that aliens did not even know existed. Humans could see out, but aliens could not see in. The aliens had spent 3 years testing human technology during the integration talks. They thought they understood human capabilities. They were wrong. Humans had only shown them the simple things, the obvious things. The real human technology had remained hidden. Seokjin watched an alien patrol fleet split up to search 3 different star systems. They would find nothing in any of them. In 2 days, they would regroup and search 3 more systems. Still nothing. This was exactly what human planners had expected. The aliens were predictable in their desperation. Back on the council station, emergency meetings were happening every day. The different alien species were starting to blame each other for the human problem. This is your fault, the Chancellor told the Bug Queen over a video call. You pushed too hard during the talks. My fault? The Queen buzzed angrily. You are the one who called them primitive. You are the one who said they needed supervision. The Supreme Leader joined the argument. Both of you are wrong. We should have welcomed the humans properly. Now look what has happened. But it was too late for regrets. Every day brought new reports of systems failing, supplies running short and communications breaking down. The galaxy was learning what life was like without human help. And somewhere in folded space, humanity was watching and waiting. They had not fled in fear. They had withdrawn by choice. The aliens would learn the difference soon enough. The silence left by humanity's absence was growing louder every day. Admiral Won-ho Choi of the Council Fleet looked at the star map spread across his command table. Red markers showed where human colonies should be. Blue markers showed where his ships had searched. There were far more blue markers than red ones, but still no humans had been found. Report, he commanded his aide, a young crystal being whose light flickered nervously. Sir, Fleet Group 7 has finished searching the outer ring sectors. No trace of human activity. Fleet Group 3 found some old debris, but analysis shows it was left there on purpose to confuse us. Won-ho's jaw tightened. This was the 5th false lead this month. Everywhere they looked, they found signs that humans had been there, but the humans themselves were gone. It was like chasing ghosts. The Admiral was not stupid. He had been hunting dangerous enemies for many years. But humans were different from any enemy he had faced before. Usually, when species tried to hide, they made mistakes. They left waste heat from their engines. They transmitted messages on the wrong frequencies. They needed supplies and had to come out of hiding to get them. Humans did none of these things. On the bridge of his flagship, Won-ho studied the latest intelligence reports. His best analysts had been working for months to understand human behavior patterns. They had found nothing useful. Jinho Park, the hegemony's chief strategist, appeared on the main screen. His forearms moved in frustrated gestures as he spoke. "Admiral, my government grows impatient. Surely one primitive species cannot hide from the entire Council fleet." "They are not as primitive as we thought," Wanho replied. "Every search pattern we try, they have already planned for. Every trap we set, they avoid perfectly. Then we need a bigger trap," Jinho said. "Find their homeworld. Find Earth. Force them to negotiate." Wanho looked at the star charts again. According to every database in the galaxy, Earth was located in a small system at the edge of Council space. The coordinates were well known. Earth's location had never been a secret. "Admiral," his navigation officer called out, "we have arrived at the Sol system." Wanho looked at the main screen, expecting to see a yellow star with several planets. Instead, he saw empty space. Not just empty of planets, empty of everything. No star, no asteroids, no cosmic dust. Nothing at all. "Check the coordinates," Wanho ordered. "Coordinates confirmed, sir. This is definitely the location listed for the Sol system in all our databases. Scan for gravitational anomalies. Scan for hidden planets. Scan for anything." The science officer worked at his console for several minutes. "Sir, I am detecting gravitational effects that suggest something large is here. But I cannot see anything with any of our sensors." This was impossible. Stars could not be hidden. Planets could not be made invisible. The laws of physics did not work that way, or so the aliens thought. Far away, Nari Kim sat in a hidden observation post, watching the alien fleet search for something they would never find. She had been placed under cover in the Council's Exploration Division years ago. Her job was to learn alien technology and report back to human intelligence. What she had learned was disappointing. Alien technology was advanced in some ways, but very limited in others. They could travel faster than light, but only in straight lines through normal space. They could build artificial gravity, but only by spinning huge structures. Humans had learned to fold space itself, creating pockets of hidden dimension. From inside folded space, humans could see everything happening in normal space. But from normal space, folded space was completely invisible. Earth had not moved. It was exactly where it had always been. But now it existed in a different layer of reality. Nari watched the alien ships run their scans over and over. Their frustrated messages to Fleet Command were easy to intercept. They had no idea what they were looking for or how to find it. Meanwhile, Seokjin Lee was tracking a different alien fleet from his stealth ship. This group was investigating reports of human activity near the Vega system. What they did not know was that they were being led into a trap. The reports were real. Humans were active near Vega, but not in the way the aliens expected. As the alien fleet moved deeper into the system, invisible human ships moved with them. Advanced stealth technology kept the human ships hidden while they studied every aspect of the alien vessels. Seokjin smiled as he watched alien crews perform their daily routines, not knowing they were being observed. Human intelligence was learning everything about alien ship design, weapon systems, and crew capabilities. The alien fleet spent 3 days searching empty planets and asteroid fields. They found nothing because there was nothing to find. But they also lost something, their privacy. By the time they left the system, humans knew more about their ships than their own crews did. This pattern was being repeated across the galaxy. Alien fleets would investigate rumors of human activity. They would find nothing, but human observers would learn everything about them. Captain Daeho Kim commanded one of the most advanced human stealth ships in the fleet. His mission was special, to test alien defenses by getting as close as possible to their most secure facilities. Today he was approaching the Crystal Empire's main military base. The base was surrounded by sensor networks, defensive satellites, and patrol ships. According to alien military doctrine, nothing could approach the base without being detected. Daeho's ship slipped through the defenses like they were not there. His stealth technology was so advanced that he could park his ship next to an alien vessel, and the aliens would never know. He spent 6 hours directly above the base's main command center, recording everything. Troop movements, communication frequencies, weapon positions, supply schedules, everything that would be useful if humans ever needed to attack the base. Then he left the same way he had come, invisible and undetected. The real shock came when a Council patrol fleet investigating the Outer Rim sectors simply disappeared. 14 ships with 30,000 crew members vanished without a trace. No distress signals, no debris. No evidence of what had happened. Admiral Wanho received the report while searching another empty system. His command staff looked at him with worried expressions. "Sir, how does an entire fleet just disappear?" his aide asked. Wanho did not answer. He was beginning to suspect that the fleet had not disappeared at all. It had been taken. But by whom and how? The truth was simpler than the aliens imagined. The patrol fleet had stumbled into a human defensive perimeter around one of their hidden colonies. Human ships had surrounded the alien fleet and used advanced teleportation technology to remove all crew members from their ships. The alien crews were now in comfortable detention facilities, being treated well but kept completely isolated from outside contact. Their ships had been taken apart and studied, then destroyed to eliminate all evidence. From the aliens' perspective, the fleet had simply vanished. From the human perspective, it was a successful intelligence operation. Yunha Yu analyzed the situation from her command center in folded space. The aliens were burning enormous resources looking for humans. They were sending their best ships to the most remote systems. They were weakening their defenses around important worlds, and they were learning nothing useful. Meanwhile, humans were learning everything. Every alien ship that went hunting for humans provided more intelligence about alien capabilities and weaknesses. Every search pattern revealed more about alien strategic thinking. The hunters had become the hunted, but they did not even know it. The council chamber was full of worried alien voices. For months they had been searching for humans with no success. Their economy was falling apart. Their technology was breaking down. Their missing fleets had never returned. The Chancellor stood at his speaking platform, his crystal body flickering with nervous energy. "We must increase our search efforts," he declared. "Triple the number of ships. Check every system twice." The Bug Queen's image appeared on the main screen. Her mandibles clicked anxiously. "My people are dying without human food supplies. We need results, not more searches." The supreme leader of the hegemony waved all four arms in frustration. "Results? We cannot even find their homeworld. How can we get results from an enemy we cannot locate?" Suddenly, the chamber's lights dimmed. Every communication device went silent. The security systems stopped responding to commands. Even the air circulation system became quiet. The aliens looked around in confusion and growing fear. This chamber was the most secure location in Council space. Nothing should be able to interfere with its systems. Then the massive main screen activated without anyone touching the controls. The image that appeared sent shockwaves through the assembled delegates. Jinwoo Park sat calmly in what looked like an advanced command center. Behind him, holographic displays showed real-time images of alien worlds, fleets, and military bases. The technology was clearly far beyond anything the Council possessed. "Honored delegates," Jinwoo said, his voice carrying clearly through the chamber's speakers. "I trust you have been well during our absence." The Chancellor's crystal face flushed bright red with anger. "How are you doing this?" "Our communications are completely secure." "Are they?" Jinwoo asked with a slight smile. "You have been searching for us for months. You have sent your best fleets to hunt us down. Would you like to know why you have failed?" Before anyone could answer, the screen split to show multiple views. Council military bases with all their defensive systems shut down, supply depots surrounded by ships the aliens did not recognize, critical infrastructure nodes dark and powerless. Minji Choi appeared beside Jinwoo, now wearing a military uniform with symbols the aliens had never seen. "During our integration period, you tested us constantly. You probed our defenses, studied our capabilities, and planned for our eventual conquest. What you failed to understand is that we were testing you as well." The Bug Queen buzzed loudly in alarm. "Impossible! You were new to space travel. You knew nothing about galactic technology." "We let you think that," Taiho Kim said as he joined the transmission. "Every meeting, every tour of your facilities, every shared meal was an opportunity to learn. While you were deciding whether to enslave us or destroy us, we were mapping every aspect of your civilization." The screen changed to show classified alien documents, military plans for human population control, economic reports recommending the seizure of human resources, strategic analyses treating humanity as a manageable threat. "We found these in your most secure databases," Jinwoo explained. "We have been inside your computer network since our second week of integration talks. Every conversation you had about us, every plan you made, every order you gave, we recorded everything." The Supreme Leader stood up, his four arms shaking with rage. "You were spying on us. You violated our trust. Trust? Yuna Lee appeared on screen, her expression cold. You invited us to join your community while secretly planning our subjugation. Which one of us actually violated trust? The evidence continued to pile up. Video recordings of alien leaders discussing how to divide human territory between their empires. Military assessments of human weaknesses that could be exploited. Economic projections of how much profit could be made from human slave labor. Your missing patrol fleets are safe, Taiho announced. All 30,000 crew members are being treated well in our guest facilities. Consider them insurance for your good behavior during this conversation. The Chancellor's light dimmed to almost nothing. 30,000? We only reported 14 ships missing. You reported 14 ships, Minji corrected. We have actually intercepted 47 vessels sent to hunt us. Your record-keeping needs improvement. The scope of human capabilities became clear as the presentation continued. While the aliens had seen humans as barely civilized primitives, humanity had been preparing for exactly this situation. They had technologies the aliens could not comprehend and strategies the aliens had never considered. We did not withdraw from your talks because we were afraid, Yuna explained. We withdrew because we realized your integration process was actually a sophisticated threat assessment, followed by either absorption or elimination. The screen showed human defensive installations that had been invisible to alien sensors. Weapon systems that operated on principles alien science did not understand. Ships that could travel through dimensions the aliens did not know existed. Your species have been at peace for so long that you have forgotten what real military power looks like, Jinwoo said. Humans have been fighting wars among themselves for thousands of years. We understand conflict in ways you cannot imagine. The aliens sat in stunned silence as more evidence mounted. Human ships had been shadowing alien fleets for months, learning every detail of their operations. Human agents had infiltrated alien governments at the highest levels. Human technology had been monitoring alien communications across the entire galaxy. But we are not conquerors, Jinwoo continued. We could have destroyed your fleets, captured your worlds, and enslaved your populations. Instead, we chose to demonstrate our capabilities in a way that would minimize casualties. The screen showed images of the missing alien crews in their detention facilities. They were housed in comfortable quarters that looked more like university dormitories than prisons. They had access to libraries, recreation areas, and educational programs. Your people are learning about human culture and technology, Minji explained. When they return, they will have a very different understanding of what humanity represents. Captain Vexhai of the hegemony appeared on screen. He had commanded one of the first fleets to disappear while hunting humans. I want to address the Supreme Leader directly, he said. The Supreme Leader leaned forward. Vexhai, we thought you were dead. I am very much alive, sir. The humans could have killed us all easily. Instead, they educated us. They showed us technologies we had never dreamed of. They demonstrated a form of civilization that somehow balances individual freedom with collective responsibility. Sir, we have been thinking about this situation all wrong. Similar testimonials came from other captured officers. Their experiences had fundamentally changed their understanding of human nature and capabilities. The Chancellor tried one last time to assert authority. Even if this is all true, you are still just one species. We are thousands of worlds united against you. United? Jinwoo laughed. Your alliance is already falling apart. Your economies are collapsing. Your fleets are scattered across the galaxy searching for us. Your governments are blaming each other for the crisis. How exactly are you united? The truth was undeniable. The Galactic Council was in chaos. Without human support, their civilization was crumbling. Without human targets to focus on, they were turning on each other. So here is our proposal, Jinwoo concluded. We are willing to resume contact with the galactic community. But this time we meet as equals. No more integration talks, no more tests, no more threats. We will work together as partners, or we will remain separate. The choice is yours. The transmission ended, leaving the aliens in complete silence. They finally understood what they were facing. Humanity was not a primitive species to be managed. They were a civilization that had been holding back their true power out of courtesy. The question now was whether the aliens were wise enough to choose cooperation over conflict. 6 months after what everyone now called the Revelation, the galaxy had changed completely. The old Galactic Council still existed, but its power was broken. In its place, a new organization was growing. one built on equality instead of dominance. Minho Seo stood on the observation deck of the space station called New Geneva. Through the transparent walls, he could see ships from dozens of species arriving for the first meeting of the Galactic Confederation. Unlike the old council chamber designed to intimidate smaller species, this station welcomed everyone equally. The transformation had not been easy. Several alien governments had tried to organize military resistance against humanity. They had discovered that their fleets could not leave port. Their engines would not start. Their weapons would not charge. Their communications would not work. Sojin Kwan, now openly serving as Director of Human Intelligence, had made it clear to alien leaders that these technical difficulties would continue until they chose cooperation over conflict. Most had chosen wisely. The few who had not were no longer in power. The returning alien crews had become unexpected ambassadors for peace. After months of observing human society, many had returned to their homeworlds with completely changed attitudes about humanity. Captain Vexhai of the Hegemony now served as his species' main advocate for cooperation with humans. They could have destroyed us without effort, he told the supreme leader. Instead, they taught us. They showed us better ways to organize society, better ways to solve problems, better ways to live together. His report had convinced the Hegemony leadership to join the new confederation immediately. The bug territories had been quicker to adapt. Their Queen Mother had realized that human agricultural technology could solve their food crisis permanently. Human scientists had developed new crops that grew well in bug environments while providing better nutrition than anything the bugs had ever eaten. In exchange, bug workers helped humans build new structures using their natural tunneling abilities. It was a partnership that benefited everyone. The Crystal Empire had been the most resistant to change. The Chancellor had refused to admit that crystals needed human help. He had insisted that crystal technology was superior to human technology in every way. That attitude had ended when the Empire's main power grid failed completely. Without human technicians to maintain the fusion reactors, entire crystal cities had gone dark. Millions of crystals had faced death from energy starvation. Human rescue teams had arrived within hours, working around the clock to restore power. They had asked for nothing in return, except an acknowledgement that cooperation was better than pride. The Chancellor had been replaced by leaders who understood the new reality. Hana Jiang had played a key role in the transformation by establishing new communication protocols. Instead of the complex dominance displays and ritual humiliation that had characterized the old council, species could now interact as equals. For the first time in galactic history, smaller and newer species had genuine representation. Their voices carried the same weight as the ancient empires. Their concerns were addressed with the same seriousness as major powers. Wanho Choi, now holding the position of human military liaison, oversaw the gradual revelation of human defensive capabilities. Alien military observers were invited to witness training exercises that left them fundamentally reconsidering their understanding of warfare. Human soldiers moved through impossible terrain using personal force fields. Human ships appeared and disappeared at will using dimensional manipulation. Human weapons could disable entire fleets without killing a single crew member. But the most impressive demonstration was not of human power, it was of human restraint. Despite having overwhelming military superiority, humans used their strength only to protect the weak and prevent aggression. When the Zarkon Syndicate tried to conquer the peaceful Melody worlds, human intervention was swift and decisive. The Zarkon fleet found itself surrounded by human ships that had appeared from nowhere. Their weapons were disabled, their crews were safely removed, and their ships were returned to Zarkon space with a simple message: find something better to do. The economic transformation was equally dramatic. Human trading posts began reappearing throughout the galaxy, but now they operated under strict fair trade protocols. No species could be exploited for cheap resources. No world could be stripped of its wealth by off-planet corporations. Instead, humans helped less developed species build their own industries and develop their own technologies. Profits were shared fairly among all participants. Economic growth benefited everyone, not just the wealthy. Jinwoo Park, addressing the first session of the Galactic Confederation, outlined humanity's vision for interstellar relations. We do not seek to rule the galaxy, he said. We seek to participate in it as partners. We offer our knowledge, our protection, and our friendship to any species willing to extend the same to others. The vote to establish the new confederation was unanimous. Several species later admitted that fear had motivated their decision as much as hope, but the result was the same. Nari Kim watched the proceedings from the diplomatic gallery. She reflected on how quickly everything had changed. The aliens who had once dismissed humans as primitive now sought human advice on everything from military strategy to social organization. But humans had been careful not to become the new overlords. Every decision was made by consensus. Every species had the right to refuse human suggestions. Every world could choose its own path as long as it did not harm others. The real test came when the Andromeda contact crisis developed. Long-range sensors detected ships from outside the galaxy approaching at incredible speed. The vessels were clearly artificial, but they used technologies no one in the Milky Way understood. Panic spread through the Confederation. Many species wanted to prepare for war immediately. Others wanted to hide and hope the strangers would pass by. Humans suggested a third option: peaceful contact. Yunha Yu, now serving as the first human chancellor of the Confederation, personally led the contact mission. Her ship met the Andromedan vessels at the edge of the galaxy, broadcasting messages of welcome in hundreds of languages. The first communication from the Andromedans was a question: "Are you the species that has brought peace to this galaxy?" The Andromedans had been monitoring galactic communications for centuries. They had watched the rise and fall of various empires, the endless cycles of war and conquest, the oppression of weak species by strong ones. They had decided that the Milky Way was too violent to be worth contacting, but recent changes had impressed them. The establishment of the Confederation, the fair treatment of all species, the use of superior power to protect rather than conquer, these developments suggested that the galaxy had finally matured. "We represent many species working together," Yunha replied. "We have learned that cooperation serves everyone better than domination." The Andromedans agreed to establish formal diplomatic relations. They shared technologies that advanced Confederation science by centuries. They provided warnings about dangers from other galaxies. They offered friendship to a galaxy that had finally learned to be worthy of it. 10 years later, the galaxy was prosperous and peaceful in ways it had never been before. No species lived in fear of their neighbors. No world was exploited by off-planet powers. No government ruled through intimidation or oppression. The memory of humanity's withdrawal from the original integration talks had become a legend told throughout the galaxy. It was a story about the importance of knowing when to walk away, having the strength to stand alone, and choosing to use power for protection rather than conquest. The stars no longer trembled with uncertainty. They sang with harmony,